ever feel that you and your husband or your wife, your spouse, are on two different pages? And you just don't, I mean, it's like you're not only going two different directions, you might, and two different pages, you might even feel that you're in reading from two different books, that your viewpoints on things are so different, and that she wants to do things one way and you want to do on things another way. How do you resolve that? How do you solve that problem? How do you come back to that place of agreement with your spouse when you're on two different pages about what to do about a difficult situation? Hi, my name's Kelly, and I'm a pastor, police chaplain, and author of the book, Turn It Up, How to Have the Lifelong Marriage That You Really Want. So here is the marriage tip for you today. If you want to get on the same page with your spouse and move forward and solve the problems that you're facing, pass the test that you're going through, deal with the challenges, okay? Here's the tip. Learn to and be open to accept the influence of your spouse. Accept it, okay? So picture this. Let's say your daughter comes to you and wants to spend the night at a friend's house. Or maybe you get offered a new position at work, but your wife doesn't think it's a good idea. Or maybe there's a financial opportunity to invest in something, and as you talk it over, your husband says, no, I don't think that that's really the right thing to do. You see, God's plan for us is this. In Genesis 2, verse 24, he says, for this reason, a man would leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So a lot of the problems that we have in our marriages are because we're not trying to become one. In other words, we're operating in the world of me instead of the world of we. What do we want to do? How are we going to solve this problem? How are we going to move forward? And as long as you are closed off to the input and influence of your husband or your wife, you're never going to get to that place of we. So God's plan is that you would work together, that the two of you would continue to grow in becoming one, and that you would operate in that we and not in me. Now, this is primarily a man's problem, okay? So ladies, you're not off the hook, but generally I've experienced this with guys. In fact, what I've had is I've heard from wives, I'll say, well, we went to a counselor or talked to a coach, and he said the same thing that I've been saying to my husband all along, but my husband never listened when I said it, but he listened when the counselor or the coach said it. So what is that all about? It tells me that, that man is just not open to hearing from his wife and her positions or her opinions, okay? So guys, let's be honest with ourselves. We don't really want to accept the influence of our wives, do we? Okay, why? Here's a couple of reasons, I think, some observations that I've made. Number one is you think that your way is better. Whoa, okay. Hey, I got this figured out. I know how to solve this problem. Here's what we ought to do. My way is better. Number two, you think that they just don't understand. They don't really understand the problem. They don't understand how you're supposed to solve this or move forward. Third thing is that you don't think their opinion is valid because they don't have the training, education, or experience that you have. In other words, well, they haven't gone through what I've gone through, or they haven't, experienced this before, and I have, and here's what I learned from it. Number four, it feels like you're giving up power, control, and the influence and leadership in your own home. You see, if I listen and do the things that she wants, I'm never going to be able to have any power. I'm never going to have my way. And basically, it's all about winning. And that would be the fifth reason that we don't want to listen to our wives, is because we don't want to lose. We want to win. Guys love to win. We're very competitive. Women are too, for that matter, but I think guys are even more so. So here's what happens. As long as you are caught up in doing things your way and you're not interested in the influence or the input that your wife has, and not accepting her or allowing her to influence your decision, what's going to happen is that you're going to win and she's going to lose, and eventually she's going to check out. The a relationship expert, Dr. John Gottman, and I've read just about all of his books. Great guy. I've learned a lot and applied a lot of his stuff to my life. Here's one of the things that he says. Let me read this to you. Even in the first few months of marriage, men who allow their wives to influence them have happier marriages and are less likely to divorce than men who resist their wives' influence. Statistically speaking, when a man is not willing to share power with his wife, there is an 81% chance that his marriage will self destruct. Can you believe that? 81%. In other words, only 2 out of 10 make it. 8 out of 10 don't make it. Why? Because that man, that husband, has closed himself off to the input and from his wife. And because of that, chances are that marriage isn't going to last. So, here's the thing to remember is that your marriage will be tested. Challenges are going to come. And you're going to find yourself on opposite pages or different pages with your wife or with your husband about what you should do or how to handle that problem or how to resolve things and move forward. So here's another idea that I got from John Gottman. It's the whole idea of yielding in order to win. So what do we mean by that? Is that basically there's a principle in life that in order to get what you want, you give the other person what they want. You yield, and then in yielding, you win. You see, here's the thing. If you are winning all the time, guess who's losing? It's not just your wife, it's your relationship, it's your marriage. That's what's going to lose. That's what's going to have problems. Why? Because it's no longer we. Now you're operating in me. This is what I want. This is what we're going to do. And yeah, I get it. The Bible says that the husband is the head of the home. But the way we're to exercise that leadership, guys, is not by just demanding our way and closing off the input that your wife has for you. The Bible says that there is wisdom in an abundance of counselors. So yeah, if you have a decision you're going to make, you need to talk it over and get some input, from professionals. If it's financial, talk to a financial professional. If it's a legal matter, talk to a lawyer. But also talk to your husband or your wife and get their input. Let God speak to them and then share what they're hearing from the Lord with you. As you pray about it, trust and invite your husband or wife to pray about it too. And then come together and allow what they're hearing from God to confirm what you're hearing from God. That way you can move forward and make the right decision and really see God's blessing. So here, what am I saying is that when you're discussing a problem, listen and understand and be open. Look for the things in your wife or your husband's perspective and their input that makes sense, that you can agree with. Find those things and then agree on those things. Even if you don't agree on everything, you're probably going to agree on some things and then look for those things. But basically, it's taking that position and having that attitude that I am open to accept what my wife or my husband has to say about this matter. I'm going to let them influence me, and together we're going to make the decision. Here's another thing. When you accept your wife's influence, gentlemen, chances are she's going to treat you differently. John Gottman also says this. He says, the wives of men who accept their influence are far less likely to be harsh with their husbands when broaching a difficult marital topic. So, if you want your wife to be nice to you, listen to her. Let her give input. Chances are then she's not going to be harsh. She's not going to be demanding. She's not going to be nagging. She's not going to be doing the I told you so. Why? Because you listened to her in the first place and then you decided together what to do. So that's my tip for today. Accept your spouse's influence. I believe that when you do, God is going to bless you. God is going to bless your marriage. God is going to bless your family. And together, as you hear from the Lord, you're going to walk in the blessings that God has for you. All right, that's it for today. May God bless you and may God bless your marriage. Check out my website, turnitup.coach, for more free resources. I have a free Facebook group as well that you're welcome to join, and the information's all right there at the website. All right, God bless you guys, and until next time, I'm Kelly Dupay, pastor, police chaplain, marriage coach, author of the book Turn It Up: How to Have the Lifelong Marriage That You Really Want, and a follower of Jesus Christ. God bless you.